Adam lived a simple life in a quiet little village far from the noise of the world. He owned very little, but every morning he woke up with a peaceful heart. Every morning he cared for his little garden, patiently, with his own two hands. He watered each plant carefully and watched them grow. When the vegetables were ready, Adam gathered them proudly into his little basket. Then he carried his harvest to the village market, hoping to earn enough for another peaceful day. His little stall was simple, but the vegetables were fresh, and people trusted him. Adam never earned much, but every coin he received was earned honestly. At night, he counted his savings carefully and smiled at the little he had earned. But one evening, something changed. A wealthy merchant arrived in the village, carrying something Adam had rarely seen. The merchant opened a heavy bag, revealing countless shining gold coins. Adam stared at the gold. Then he looked down at his own few coins. For the first time, the simple life he once loved suddenly felt too small. That night, Adam dreamed of gold, mountains of gold. When morning came, Adam made a decision. He would become rich. From that day on, Adam worked harder than ever before. His garden grew larger, his harvest grew bigger, and his earnings began to rise. And more coins filled his pockets, and for a moment, he felt proud with his new money. He bought a strong wooden cart. Then he saw a piece of fertile land, and he decided to buy it. Adam walked across his new field, imagining endless crops stretching toward the horizon. He hired workers. He planted more seeds, and slowly, his small farm became something much larger. And Adam's wealth grew faster than he had ever imagined. Then Adam noticed a magnificent house. He stared at it for a long moment and thought, why shouldn't that be mine? So he spent another fortune, building a house bigger than anything in the village. At last, Adam had wealth, he had land, and he had a beautiful home. Yet somewhere along the way, the humble man he once was had begun to disappear. One day, a poor old villager came to his door. He stood quietly and asked Adam for a little help. Adam looked at him and coldly said, I have nothing to give you. The old man walked away sadly, while Adam returned to his enormous house, a house filled with everything except peace. But Adam still wasn't satisfied. His eyes had already moved toward the land beyond his own. There stood a beautiful orchard, green, peaceful, and full of fruit. Adam offered the owner a great deal of money, but the old farmer refused to sell. Adam walked away angrily, because for the first time, money could not buy what he wanted. That night, Adam could not sleep. His mind was filled with one thought, the orchard. He counted his gold again and again, but even all that wealth could not satisfy him. The next morning, a wise old man noticed Adam's troubled face. Adam, the old man said gently, be careful. A person can have everything and still have nothing. But Adam did not listen. He believed that more wealth would finally make him happy. Then, one afternoon, dark clouds gathered above his enormous fields. The wind grew stronger. The rain began to fall, and a terrible storm swept across the land. Adam ran toward his crops, desperately hoping he could save everything he had built. But when the storm passed, much of his precious farmland lay broken and ruined. His barns were damaged. Adam looked at his gold, and for the first time, he understood. Gold could not bring back what he had lost. That night, Adam stood alone in his enormous house, surrounded by riches. He remembered his old little home, his small garden, and the days when a simple meal was enough. As the sun began to set, Adam finally understood what his greed had cost him. He closed his treasure chest and whispered, I spent my life chasing more and forgot to enjoy. The next morning, Adam left his grand house and returned to the simple village life he had once forgotten.
This time, he shared his food, he shared his harvest, and he shared his wealth with the people around him. Adam returned to the soil, planted new seeds, and found joy in something money could never buy. He finally learned that true wealth was not having everything, but appreciating everything you have, because greed always whispers, "You need more." But wisdom teaches us, be grateful for enough,